I just wanted to get a video out there about emotions in trading. The topic we're going to have is emotional control in trading, and you guys are going to see me look to my right because that's where my screen usually is fucking whatever it's called. You can see my screen, okay? I usually do slideshows, but this time I'm just going to do a Google Doc to make it easier for you guys to get notes down. I went all last night writing stuff down that I've learned in the past with my emotions. And again, I'm looking to this side because my good camera's here. I usually use my my computer's camera when I do my live streams, when I trade, because I trade on this big monitor. So I decided to just keep it on there, put my docs up so you guys could see and take notes. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to read through each one that I have written out for you guys. Again, this is my own experience. You guys can write this stuff down in the notes. It's just key stuff. And then for each one, I'll just talk and just explain all the things that I've learned in the past based off my experience as being a trader, and why I think, again, we all can have a strategy. I think the easiest part of trading is learning a strategy, but the reason why I think most people fail in this game is because of their emotions, their psychology, and their risk management. It might be different for everybody else, but I think my biggest problem and my biggest leap from when I went from unprofitable to actually be able to start taking a little bit of money out of the markets is when I started to fix my psychology and actually my emotions when it came into trading. Because again, we got to remember, when our emotions get caught into trading, when we start going from a demo account to either a prop firm account or real money, we get a little bit attached to money because again, we all are human. We all have that attachment to money for some reason. But if you can detach trading from money and just focus on the progress and just slowly growing yourself as a trader and as a person over time, I truly believe over a couple of years, you can start taking profits out of the markets and actually start doing this as a full-time job instead of just always wondering what the reason is of why I keep failing and just hopping from strategy to strategy, which can just make things very hectic for a lot of people getting into trading. So again, the first thing I want to go over is number one, the emotional trap most traders fall into. So most people think they need a better strategy when they're losing, but 9 times out of 10, the issue is execution, not the setup. For example, you'll wait all day for the perfect entry, then hesitate or skip an entry because you got in your own head, or worse, you jump into something impulsively just because it looks like it might go. The strategy didn't fail, your emotional discipline did, and that's what separates a profitable trader from someone who just studies charts all day. So, going over this topic, again, most people with trading, they think that they can just get down a strategy and all of a sudden everything's going to work out and be perfect, and they're going to start taking money from the markets, and it's going to be this easy thing where you can quit your job, make millions of dollars, drive a Lamborghini, blah, blah, blah. When you guys really get into trading and you start doing it for a couple of years, you learn that trading is not just about a strategy. If it was that easy, everybody from all the information you guys see on social media, out of the real people who teach you how to trade, like ICT concepts, support and resistance, scalping, whatever it is, you're going to notice that you could get the strategy down to it just perfectly. You know what everything means. You know what a fair value get means, a liquidity sweep, a breaker structure. You know what an order block is, breaker block, all this stuff. You know how the market moves. You've been studying it. But one thing that holds a lot of people back is they slowly build up progress. So let's go back for an example for me. Let's go back a year and a half ago, I would say. When I was on these funded accounts, I would do really good job over a month span, and then I would get around $1,000, let's say, from passing the prop firm account or getting a payout. Every time I would get to that point, I would over leverage, and then I'd end up blowing the accounts literally in one day after spending a month or a month and a half of slowly building up profits, taking smart trades, only taking a couple trades a week, maybe taking 1 or 2 trades a day, most likely 1 trade, just following my rules and my plan. My emotions were on point for a solid month, and then that one day where I get all excited, this one trade's gonna pass it, we're gonna get this payout, you end up blowing the accounts. So one thing I'm trying to explain here is, again, I see this as the emotional trap most traders fall into, is that they think strategy is the big magical secret to trading. If it was that easy, everybody would be doing trading. It would be simple and you just be able to go online, learn these strategies, and then be able to take money out of the markets. But there's always this one thing that separates profitable traders from people who are so close to becoming profitable but keep failing and failing and failing and failing and not learning from their mistakes and looking in the mirror and saying, am I not following my rules? Did I over leverage? Did I stick to my strategy? Did I get emotional? There's many things you guys got to write down, and this is why I started doing social media. That's why I have a journal. I recommend you guys should get a journal and journal every single trade you do, every trade you take, whether you win, lose, or break even. You write it down. You write your emotions, how you were feeling, what happened that day. Did you have a bad day before? Did you have a bad week? Did you not feel right? Did you not get sleep? Blah, blah, blah. Write down everything you see or feel, and then go back and reevaluate when your head's cleared. And that's why I started social media, because I post those trading recaps, and I see all the stuff that I missed, if I followed my rules, if I executed my trade correctly, if I followed my strategy, and then I can just go back and look at it in real time of me explaining everything to you guys, and hopefully you guys learn a little bit from how I trade, just to show you the real reality of trading. But again, if strategy was just this, if we could just figure out the strategy and be able to take money out of the markets, then trading would just not be what it is. More people would be doing it. 95% of people fail in this game, and there's a reason why 95% fail. Even when they have the strategy down, it's when they have to face themselves in the mirror, deal with their emotions, their psychology, following their rules. Because if you follow your rules to a T and you've went back and back tested for hours and hours, which you're going to have to do, you got to test your strategy. You'll see over time your strategy works if you follow your rules correctly every single day. But that one day where you just blow everything, you go back and you reevaluate and you say, I entered instead of, let's say I usually enter in around 4 to 8 micro E-minis. That day I entered freaking 5 minis. It's like, well, why the hell did you do that? That's not part of your plan. And then it's just, you start to see what the problem really is. And the problem that I feel like most people deal with in trading, and then they can't take profits out of the market, is because the problem is themselves and not just the strategy and the stuff they've learned in trading, if that makes sense. But let's go to number 2, because again, I don't want to talk your guys' ear off. These are just things that I went back last night and wanted to type out for you guys, just to show you the reality of trading, of my trading journey. Again, everybody's can be different. These rules might not apply to you, but overall for me, I think they helped me out a lot. And I guess you guys can go back and look at my social media. I've only started it the past 4 months. You can go back and look at how I trade and my trading recaps, and then that can just be enough proof for you guys, I guess, and as the years go on. So we'll see. But number 2, we have fear and greed, and this is a big one. This is one that I dealt with for about a year. So fear and greed are the 2 emotions that kill traders. Fear makes you exit winners too early because you're scared to give back profits, or you won't even enter a trade because you don't want to be wrong. Then there's greed. You can catch a good move, but instead of taking profit at your zone, you think, let me just hold a bit longer, and boom, it reverses. Or you revenge trade after a loss, trying to make it back faster. All these are emotional and they're not strategic. So again, emotions. Let's say you have your whole plan out. You marked out what your trade's going to be. It's lining up perfectly to your bias, and you end up seeing that you want to enter a trade. We'll just go over this part first. But the day before, you took a loss, and you think, I don't want to take a loss again because I don't want to lose more money. We got to notice that in the reality of trading, guys, you're going to lose no matter what. And I'll say this a million times. If someone ever tells you there's a 100% win rate strategy and you're going to win every single trade you take, that is a scam, and they're trying to take your money. Okay? And that's happened to me many times, I promise. I've gotten scammed, I've lost money. But we got to remember, when you go back and back test, you go on FX replay, that's what I used. I back tested all of 2024, and I think when I did all of 2024, I had like a high 60% something win rate, like 66 to 68% win rate or something like that in 2024. Now my win rate's been a little bit better from the past. I think my last month was like 72%. It's going to be different. It matters in the month. But what I'm trying to say is we got to remember the long-term plan here. Even if you guys have losing weeks, losing months, losing days, whatever it is, we got to remember to stick to your plan, and just when you lose, just say, hey, I lost a trade today. I was wrong. It's time for me to walk away, follow my rules. If my rules are to take one trade, I got to be done. If my rules are to take two trades, I got to just clear my mind for a second. If a setup presents itself, maybe enter in half the first position size you entered and then target a 1 to 2 and let it play out. The hard part here is, and again, I dealt with it, is when you lose a trade the day before or you lost a trade, that like humanly instinct kicks in that you need to go get it back as quick as possible. And that's the hardest thing with trading that I had to deal with, and I feel like most people have to deal with in this game, is because you have that greed to just get it back because you were wrong and you want it to be right. But in reality with trading, you are not going to be right every single day. So we got to just put that in perspective into your head. Every day you start your trading day, you should say, if a setup presents itself today, I'm going to take it. If it follows my rules, if it follows my sizing for the plan, for the trade I'm going to take, if I follow that, if I follow my strategy, if I follow what the market is showing me, I'm going to enter a trade and have no fear because we have a risk management system. So regardless if I lose, we'll have plenty of room. If you're on a funded account, you have drawdown, you have plenty of room to take another trade the next day because of our risk management system. You're not just going to blow your whole account. If you're risking more than 1%, 2%, or 3% in your account, then I recommend just risking 1%. But if you're risking too much of your account, that's why you're getting emotional, because you care about losing everything. If you have a good risk management system and you're risking the right amount of money based off of your account, you have plenty of room to get that money back when another opportunity presents itself. And that's why we go back and back test our strategy. And if you have a 68, 65% win rate, we know mathematically over time, if you keep doing what you do every single day and you have that win rate percentage, you will most likely be profitable in the long run. So what we have to put into our brain is, okay, I lost a trade today. It is what it is. We live to trade another day. I have plenty of drawdown. I have plenty of room. I have a risk management system. I'm going to go on to the next day, clear my mind, go on with my day. It's not the end of the world because trading takes time. And then we're going to go on to the next day. If our strategy plays out, everything lines up to our rules, our strategy, our game plan, everything, our bias, we're going to take that trade again. And even if we do lose again, we're going to trust the long-term game plan that we went back and back tested for months and hours and hours and hours without getting, I used to back test all night, not get any sleep, go to work, get back home, get on the markets, back test. Like I would back test as much as I can possible to get my strategy down to a T. But we got to remember, the long-term game plan shows us mathematically that we can be profitable in the long run if we stick to our plan every single day and every day that we trade. So you got to put that into your mind every single day before you hop onto the markets. It shouldn't be, I have to make this amount of money today. I have to win a trade. No. Your job is to predict the market and react off of what opportunities the market presents itself for you to take. And if it does, we take our trade. And if we have a 68% win rate, we got to remember, we have a 68% chance of us winning based off of what we've studied. And then the rest of the percentage, we can lose. There's still a percentage you can lose. That's the market. It's going to do whatever the hell it wants. And it's going to go in whatever direction it wants to go in. But what we went back and back tested, we see that we have a higher percentage of winning that trade than losing, so we got to just let it play out. And that's where we're going to go off the second part of number 2 is when you guys set your take profits and your stop losses, right? It's part of the game plan, right? You went back, you studied, you found out where the best places are to take your take profits, put your stop loss on every trade you take. So what we're going to do is we're going to make sure every time we enter a trade, we make sure that we don't touch it and we let it hit the areas that it's supposed to do because that's part of the game plan. When you don't do that, that's breaking your rules. This is where the effect of coming where you're in profit and you're scared to lose it. And let's say you take it early and you basically just hit a 1-to-1 when you could have hit a 1-to-3 and you could have made 2 times the profit or whatever. You could have made more profit compared to the next loss if you had. So let's say if you let the trade play out, you would have hit a 1-to-3. And then the next day, you lost the trade. You'd still be in profit a good amount. But let's say you take the profit early and didn't go with your game plan because you got a little bit greedy and just wanted to get out because you're nervous it's going to reverse on you. You end up taking profit at a 1-to-1. You lose the trade the next day that you normally take your risk with. Now you're back to break even. So when you let those runners run to your areas of, especially from your stop losses to your take profits, it's just like you can make a lot more on those runners when you're correct compared to when you just get a little bit greedy and nervous because it's all the way where close to hitting your take profit. You could have made a couple hundred more bucks, but you don't want to do that because you're scared it's going to reverse. So something that I had to deal with is I used to let my stop loss run until it's completely over. I believe that it can reverse and it's going to come back up and take my take profits. And then I used to, when it was close to hitting my take profit or going up my take profit, and I'm making money, I used to get nervous and be like, oh, I'm going to take it away. But then I started to look in the mirror and I'm like, dude, why do you let the stop loss run fully all the way down with you losing money compared to you making more money? That doesn't make any more sense. You should be more confident when the trade's going in your direction compared to when it's not. I'd always have this confidence of, oh, it's going to retrace back up. We're just going down to my stop loss. It's not going to hit. And I'd let that run and hit my stop loss. And then when it was in my direction going towards my TP levels, I would get nervous that I should take profit early so I don't so it doesn't reverse and lose that money, which didn't make any sense to me. So then I started to look at that perspective and saying, dude, when the price is going in your freaking direction, why wouldn't you be more confident that it's going to hit your take profit levels if you have the confidence of that the price is going to reverse when it's going in the opposite direction? And I started looking at trading like that, and after I started doing that and trying to focus on that every day, I ended up letting my trades play out a little bit better. And I still deal with that a little bit each day. Like when I want to try and target a 1 to 3 or 1 to 4, I'll get a little still nervous with that stuff. But 1 to 1, 1 to 2s, that stuff's gotten a lot better for me. And I even maybe will put my my take profit level like maybe 1 or 2 ticks below of the game plan level, just so it does hit in case it does reverse. That's something you can also do if you want, if you're not greedy enough to worry about 1 or 2 ticks missing out on. So, I mean, we got to remember that would technically be breaking your rules if you guys take profit early instead of letting it go to your take profit or stop loss level. And I think I had an example, if you guys go back in my trading recap last week, where I literally just let the trade play out all the way to my stop loss level. I literally got stopped out by the tick. And then price ended up continuing in the correct direction and taking out my take profit levels. But again, I wasn't emotional. I didn't overtrade and just risk my whole account to get everything back off of that. It's just life of trading. I got stopped out by 1 tick. The market does what it wants to do. It was an obvious area for the banks, I guess, or the hedge funds and all that stuff to go down, stop out all those retail traders, fill in their orders, and then it continued in the right direction. And then that's just life. It is what it is. We're going to lose some. We're going to win some. We're going to be in profit on some trades, and it's going to totally reverse, stop you at a break even or hit your stop loss. That's just part of trading. We got to start realizing that losses in this game don't determine who you are and how you are as a trader. It's how you react off of those losses. You got to learn. You got to go back and study your losses compared to just studying different strategies and stuff every day. Stick to one strategy and then focus on studying your emotions and studying yourself when you guys are trading every single day. And that's one of the reasons why I started social media. I'm not just trying to get this stuff out there for you guys, which I do love doing. I love trying to show you guys my progress and how I grow as a trader over time, and also teach you things that work for me. But I overall go back on my social media and I watch myself and study myself and look how I react. I also record myself live every day in the Discord, and I'll even go back when I have a bad day and look at how I'm reacting, or if I'm biting my fingernails and getting nervous. It's just like, it's good to go back and study yourself. And I feel like that's what most people don't do in this game. They don't study who they are as a person. They don't have good habits in real life. They don't stick to their good habits in real life when they know that they should be doing them, like eating healthy, going to the gym, being nice to people. Like, what I'm trying to say is, if you can't focus on being good in real life, in reality, and following your rules, or being a good person and all that stuff in reality, it's going to reflect all on trading. It's going to show you who you really are in trading. Your weaknesses are going to show from trading. And if you guys don't focus on yourself and your emotions and your psychology and who you are as a person, and just try to better yourself every day, I feel like trading is just going to show you who you truly are, and slowly eat you apart in your brain and make you kind of go mentally insane. But you really got to look in the mirror to start becoming a better trader, I feel like, especially when you are trading, just to see how how you react off of losses, how you react off of price almost hitting your stop loss and then coming down and stopping you out, and almost blowing your accounts, and then just seeing where you are mentally after these hard times hit in trading and saying, what do I need to fix to better myself, to trust my game plan, trust the long-term bias, and just show that trading is going to work out in the future if I just stick to everything that I know works and just follow those rules. And at the end of the day, I really think that comes down to how bad you really want it. With me personally, I had a lot to change in my real life to sacrifice for trading. And you'll look at my past videos, and I don't want to go too deep on that, but I sacrificed a lot. I fixed myself a lot. I became a better person in real life. And then I feel like that's when I started to get better as a trader, look at myself in the mirror when I was trading, and just learn from the mistakes I was making, learning from the losses instead of beating myself up every single day, and not thinking that it can be possible. So let's go to number 3 before I make this video 40 minutes long. How long are we at right now? I don't even know if it tells. We're at 21 minutes. Okay. All right. We'll speed this thing up a little bit so you guys don't have to watch this forever. But number 3, we'll go over the impact of emotions on decision making. So when you're emotional and you're not thinking logically, plain and simple, that does not make sense how I typed that. When you're emotional, you're not thinking logically, plain and simple. You're operating on impulse, and your brain floods with adrenaline and cortisol. And now your focus isn't on the plan, it's on survival. That's when you start second guessing, hesitating, and forcing trades that aren't even part of your setup. The best setups in the world won't save you if your mind isn't under control. That's why mastering emotions is more important than mastering chart patterns. I recommend writing this one down in your notes because emotional decision making is a big thing with trading. Again, I feel like we mainly went over that with the number 2 on this Google Doc. But we got to remember, when you guys get nervous with entering a trade, when you oversize in a position and break your rules, when you take a loss and you think you have to get it back, you're breaking your rules and not looking at the long-term bias of trading. You have to slow down. This is here's an example of what I used to do when I take a trade, and I still do. When I lose a trade or I break my rules or something, I get away from the computer, I slow down, I take a deep breath, and I go back and think, what did I do wrong? Once you guys start doing that, that can really help you succeed more in trading, like I said in number 2. But decision making is a huge part in trading. Like I said before, you got to learn to go back and back test and test your strategy and build the confidence for when you're going to trade. A huge example I can use, because again, I was an athlete for 17 years. People would come up to me, and again, I was a good wrestler in high school, and I was okay in college when I started kind of going down a different path when I wanted to become a trader and everything. But when you compete, right, you guys prepare by spending hours of lifting, hours of training, hours of good sleep, hours of eating healthy, hours of running and doing cardio. You do all these hard things to prepare for the moment when you compete. And then when you compete, you just go out there, and what I would do is I'd step out on the mat and I would just flow. Things would just happen, and all my training would present itself on the mat when I'd wrestle. And all these people would ask, why are you so good? What do you think when you're out there wrestling? Like, how do you know to do this move? And I would answer their question. I'm just saying, I don't know. I would just go out there and it would just happen. So to go back with trading with this, we got to remember that when you guys study, backtest, and start building up your confidence through backtesting, because you should have no emotional attachment when you guys are backtesting, because there's no money at risk. You're not blowing any accounts. It should just be focusing on taking good trades and just trying to get better as a trader and seeing things better with your strategy and following your rules. Once you guys do that for a long period of time, all of that will start to present itself when you trade. So for me, when the market opens at 9:30 a.m., and even still to this day, I even tell my girlfriend, dude, I feel like I forget how I know how to trade. What if I don't know how to do this? What if I don't know how to do that? And then the next week hits, market opens, and then all of a sudden I just go into this place where I lock in, the candlesticks start moving, and I just flow with the market. And maybe that just makes sense to me because I was an athlete, but you guys will start to realize over time when the markets open up and it's your go time, all your back testing and your strategy creation and studying and all that stuff you did for a reason to get better at trading will present itself when the market's open and you're actually taking your live trades. So if you're not performing to your ability with how you want to in your trading, that's why you need a journal and you need to go back and study what you're doing wrong when you are studying, when you are back testing, when you are looking at how your strategy works, when you are looking at your win rate. You need to go back and fix that problem. And then once you fix that problem, over time, that's going to slowly start getting better when you really trade, if that makes any sense. So we just got to remember, the work you put in presents itself when the time comes when you need to put in the work. When the live market's going, when you're taking your live trades, when you're looking at the markets live, all the things you do are going to show from the stuff you studied, the stuff you back tested, all that stuff. That'll show when you're live trading, and you just got to learn to get into that flow state, watch the market, and when it comes to you, it just, I don't know, you just flow and you see, if that makes any sense. That's what I do. Every time the market opens, I relax, and I just flow with the market. And if I see an opportunity, I take it. If I don't see an opportunity, I don't take it, whether I win or whether I lose. So hopefully that makes a little bit of sense to you guys. But let's go with number 4. Well, yeah, we only have 4. Let's go to 4, and this is supposed to be 5. We'll do these last 2. What are we at? 26 minutes? All right, yeah, we'll be good. So number 4 I have, and again, write all these down in your notebook and study these guys. Signs you're trading emotionally, even if you don't realize it. So you might not think you're emotional in the moment, but here's how you know. You start justifying your trades after the fact. You break your rules because this one looks good. You check your phone constantly, watching every tick like your life depends on it, or you have a losing trade, immediately try to make it back. That's not your strategy. That's desperation. Meaning, like, let's say you lose a trade based off of your strategy, then all of a sudden you think, okay, I'm going to get back in 10 seconds later because it's going to keep going down. That's not based off your strategy. You shouldn't take it. You shouldn't even click a button on your damn screen. You should just leave it alone, take a deep breath, give it 30 minutes, and come back to the market and see if another opportunity presents itself. Back to this. All those are emotional habits, and you got to call yourself out on them if you want to level up. So again, if you guys are making excuses to take a trade, like I was talking about somebody about this the other day, and we got to remember, if your rules don't line up, rule by rule, and I have a checklist off in my mind. I used to have it written down, and I would check each one off. If you don't see everything that aligns to your rules, if it's off by one, let's say it's like you get a liquidity sweep, you get a break of structure, you scale down to the 1 minute time frame, you see a fair value gap, but the fair value gap doesn't get retraced into, and if the price just keeps continuing up and you want to enter because you wish it went down into that fair value gap, showed buying pressure out of it and continued up, but it didn't, and you just see price keep continuing up to the draw on liquidity, and you enter off the trade. If it's off by one rule, if one of your rules is off, you do not take the damn trade. Your rules have to line up perfectly, and then you execute. When you do that, you're taking higher probability trades, you're going off of what you studied, and you're going off of what you've back tested, and that should show that you're sticking to your rules and following the game plan. Even if the trade, let's say, you took the trade, it works out, you made money even though you broke your rules. To me, that's not a win. I would go back in my journal there. I'd go back and say, I followed my rules up until this point. I still took the trade and I won, and I wouldn't be happy with myself because, again, you broke your rules. When you break your rules once, you're going to continue doing it over time, and you're not going to notice it. So we got to remember, if your rules do not if they're not matching up perfectly and everything presents itself that's based off of your rules, you do not take the trade. But if everything aligns with your rules and your bias, you take that trade without hesitation. You find your take profit levels. You put your stop loss where you think the trade can get invalidated and it was wrong, and you just let it play itself out because you're going off of what you think is correct when you back tested and studied for hours and hours. And if you have a 68, 65, even a 60% win rate, you have a 10%, let's say you have a 60% win rate, you still have a 10% higher chance of that trade playing out than not playing out. So why are you stressing out? Even if it doesn't play out, that's just part of trading. You'll live on to be able to trade another day if you don't over leverage your account and risk everything to try and get it back, right? You'll be able to trade the next day, even if you lose the next day. That's why we have a risk management system. When you have a risk management system, you should not be worried and stressing out over trades not playing out. You're just wrong that day. Or the market just wanted to not go in that intended direction. So we got to remember, if the trade presents itself and we follow our rules and everything lines up together, right? Write this down. Then we take the trade and we let it freaking play out. Just let it do what it's supposed to do. If it doesn't work, we follow our rules. Don't take another trade. You could paper trade if you want. I don't even recommend paper trading. Just X your screen out. Get away from the market. Go back when your mind's clear. See what you did wrong. Study what you did wrong. And then come back to the markets the next day with the same mindset of, hey, if a trade presents itself, I'm going to take this trade, whether it wins or loses, and we're just going to keep doing that over a long period of time. And what I've seen from back testing, most likely mathematically, I should be able to become profitable over a longer period of time and being consistent with following my rules. So, last one, number 5, why mastering emotions is a skill, not a switch. This isn't something you can just decide to get better at overnight. Emotional control is a skill just like trading. You got to build it like a muscle. That means getting reps in, learning from your mistakes, and staying consistent with your routines. You're not trying to eliminate emotions. You're learning how to feel them without reacting. And the more you practice that, the more dangerous you become in the markets in a good way. And this is what I was saying through the whole entire video, guys. I think with trading, the biggest problem why most people aren't profitable in this game is because it's not because of a strategy. It's because of their emotions, their psychology, and there's this whole persona out there that trading can make you so much money so quick and it's so easy when it's really fucking hard. You can lose all of your money that you've worked hard for in trading just as quick as you can make it. So we got to remember, a lot of people get in this headspace of, oh, I can make money so quick because I see all these people making so much money. If they could do it, I could do it. But we got to remember that you're going to have to come across the emotional part of trading, the psychology part of trading, the risk management part of trading, the strategy part of creation, the strategy creation part of trading, the mental part of trading, and there's more probably that I can explain. But we got to remember that trading takes time. You're going to fail. You're going to lose all your money. You're going to blow accounts. You're going to fail even more. It takes years to do this stuff, guys. And it takes a lot of commitment. And it takes a lot of hard work to do it, just like anything else that's hard in life. But the hardest part that most people don't get past is when they do lose all their money, when they do keep blowing accounts and they can't figure out what the problem is after they have their strategy and everything. The hardest part is looking in the mirror and saying, I need to fix myself. I need to fix my emotions. I need to fix the way I react. I need to fix the way that I look at the market money-wise. The hardest part for people in this game is looking into the mirror and sticking to a plan over a consistent amount of time, because that one day, that one little day of when you overreact and risk your whole account, you're going to blow everything, and all that hard work is just going to go out the window and you have to restart. And that's the hardest part as a trader, to get back up on your feet, build up that money again, and retry, and then do it again and again and again and again. And then one day, you start to just be with the market and flow with it. And then things start to come, and it's just like, then over time, the money will start slowly compounding itself over time. And then you get to the point where you're making more and more money. And that's where I'm trying to get right now. I'm just slowly trying to compound that money, take my time. This isn't about the money in trading. What I'm chasing is freedom. What I'm chasing is to not work for anybody. What I'm chasing is to just be my own boss, do what I want, make my own mistakes, deal with myself. And the money is the reward at the end of that also. But right now the main focus is get up every day, flow with the markets, get better every single day you trade as a trader, and just focus on whether I follow my rules every day, stick to my sizing plan, stick to my strategy, whether I do that every single day and not focus on the money, my profits, my losses, nothing. I know over time, because I've back tested for a long time. I've seen over time I'm more profitable if I consistently stick to my rules and my strategy and my plan, and I'm going to trust that, and over time it will show itself. Just like anybody else, if you're a real trader, you see all these guys, they just don't magically become rich out of nowhere on social media. If they do, they're faking it, guys, or they're making money off people buying their courses. But real traders, and if you're watching this, I guess maybe you'll watch this in the future or whatever, I don't know. If you're watching this, if you're a real trader, you know it takes time to slowly build the capital, to slowly go through the mistakes, to slowly go through all the emotional stuff, to slowly go through all the studying and the learning a strategy and knowing what to do in the markets and how the markets move, and then going through psychology after that. There's different levels to trading, and as a beginner, when you start out, you're going to go through each one of them. We all do. It just matters who makes it through all of them at the end. And I truly believe the hardest part is when you keep failing and failing and failing, and you know that you can make it in this game. It's just not showing it. The results aren't showing themselves yet, but I promise if you just keep pushing forward, keep trusting the process, don't strategy hop, don't nothing. Whatever works best for you, you stick to that and you study it and you keep going and going and going. Fix yourself, fix your emotions, fix your psychology. Look yourself in the mirror and say, what the fuck do I have to fix with myself, with my trading, and just my overall life to become a better person, a better trader, a better, let's say, in better shape, eating healthier foods, following my strategy, following my trading plan, not relying on emotions. It's just there's a bunch of stuff that add up in trading, guys, but we got to remember we create a game plan and we back test and study for a reason. I'm going to say this to end the video just so you guys put it into your mind. But again, the only example I could use is as an athlete. You go out there, you flow, and you kick the shit out of a kid. I wrestled, so all the training, all the effort, all the hard days, all the cutting weight, the eating healthy, the really hard workouts where you throw up after practice, those will present themselves when you compete. So if you could put that into trading perspective, all the sleepless nights, all the times you spend thinking that you're not going to make it in trading, is this really going to work? All the times you failed, all the times you've gotten really close to getting a payout or passing an account and you failed last minute, all the times you've over leveraged your accounts, all the times where you've had to just stay up and study all night and just learn your strategy even though you don't know what the hell anything means yet. All of that stuff over time and over the years will present itself when you guys get into the market and when you trade, and you'll understand once you get there. You just see the markets and you just have no stress, guys. You know the overall game plan. You know the overall long-term bias if you stick to it. It's just none of us, as humans, we don't have the patience at first to realize that if I just stick to this, and it should matter on how bad you really want it. If you want it that bad and want to become a profitable trader that bad, you will be willing to sit there and be patient and let the overall long-term game plan of trading play itself out instead of trying to rush the damn process to impress people. If you're trying to impress people in this game, don't even get involved. What you should be doing is proving to yourself that you could stick to a system, stick to a strategy, stick to your rules, and better yourself over time as a person and as a trader. This shouldn't be to flex on people with money and all that stuff. No. Trading, yes, the big reward of trading can be a shitload of money. That's cool and stuff. But the reality is we have to treat trading like a video game and just get better and better and better and better and just level up. Level up your status for the next couple of years. Stick to the plan and stop getting so emotional. Focus on what you have to do. Take your trade, let it play out, and just be fearless, I guess. Just be fearless. You know the overall game plan. Don't be a little bitch. I'm sorry for the swearing again. I know someone already got on me with that. But don't be a little bitch. Just get in your trade. If you've studied and put in the work, trust the overall game plan, and it will show itself over time. In trading, there is no rush to this. Every time you rush, you will fail. Take your time, follow your rules, stick to your plan, trust in your ability, believe in yourself, don't give a shit what anybody says, and over time you will prove to yourself that you can actually trade and actually make this a full-time job and do this for a living and live your life on your own terms. So again, hopefully you learned a little bit in this video. I'm just trying to be real with you guys. I'm trying to explain the stuff that I've been through with trading, my journey, my mistakes, my problems, my emotional stuff. Again, am I the best trader in the world right now? Hell no. Hell no. I'll be honest with that. Am I a decent trader? I would think so. I would really think so. I've put a lot of time, I put a lot of effort. I've been doing this for a long time, guys, for 6 years. And I really enjoy doing this stuff and teaching. But I'm putting myself out there on social media for you guys, to show you that this really is possible. And I'm going to prove that to you over time. Even though if I haven't even proved to some of you yet that I can actually trade, you can join my Discord for free. I trade live every weekday. I have my trading recaps up there. You guys can look at my trading recaps. But again, my main priority right now is not trying to impress anybody. I'm just trying to show the real reality of trading. And if you guys are getting started in trading, I have a little bit of a head start of you. You can see my mistakes that I deal with over time, especially on social media, because I'm going to put it out there for you guys to see, because I really don't give a shit what anybody says. We all start somewhere in trading. We all go through the phase of learning how to trade to becoming profitable. That's just regardless. You don't just jump into this and make a shitload of money. But I'm putting myself out there to show you the stuff, that the real reality of trading. I'm not trying to fake anything. I truly believe that I will be one of the best traders one day. Hopefully we can look back on this video 2 years from now and just smile and be like, I told you, you were right. But trading is a crazy world. It's not easy. It's not going to be very easy. It's going to take time. You're not going to become profitable within a couple months or a year or even 2. Maybe you could if you're good at controlling emotions. But guys, strategy, I think, in my opinion, was one of the easiest parts for me to learn in trading. I'm not saying it is easy. I think it was the easiest part. The hardest part, again, and this is why I'm making the video, is facing yourself in the mirror, dealing with your emotions, your psychology, your risk management, and just dealing with having to trade with real money, because it can mentally just drain you, especially when it's not working and you keep losing money. So hopefully you guys learned a little bit of this video again. We'll end it here. I think it was a 40-minute video. Holy shit, that was a long one. But hopefully you guys learn a little bit from me. I'm just trying to put the reality of trading out there that I've been through, my progress, and hopefully a couple people can take some advice from this stuff and help them excel in trading. So again, wanted to get this video up here. I promised I'll do a educational video every weekend for you. I'm in the new state. I'm going full tilt on this stuff now with the social media, because I love and I enjoy doing this. Again, I don't have many friends that trade. I'm starting to talk to more people in trading, which is good, who actually trade. But again, I like putting myself out there to show you guys the real life of trading, and show myself that over time this is going to work and it's going to keep growing, and I truly believe in myself. So again, hopefully you learned a little bit. I know I said that 4 or 5 something times already, but I'm going to get this video uploaded. One of the people in my Discord requested this video, so you know who you are. Hopefully you learn a little bit from this one, and I'll make that second video for you also. But join the Discord for free. I trade live for free right now every weekday for futures, S&P 500 and NASDAQ. You guys can watch me. Come join it. It's a great community. We're going to keep it growing. Right now I think we only have 85 people in it, but we're just going to keep growing that. I post my trade recaps every week. I post educational videos. Follow my Instagram. Follow my TikTok. I post the real stuff of trading. I post who I am, and I just post shit. I really don't. I'm just trying to be myself for you guys on social media. So we'll end the video here. Hope you guys enjoyed, and then we'll get another video up soon. And let's have a great trading week coming into the week. Appreciate it.